Alright, so I think we're in action. Hi everybody, my name is Alice. I'm sure you haven't seen me in a long time. It's been quite a while. There's been a lot going on, especially recently. But the main reason why I stopped uploading is first off, my job ended up getting pretty busy, so I couldn't really have the time to make videos and upload them every day. But the other main reason was the recording software that I was using would cap out at 30 minutes, but it wouldn't just stop recording, it would delete what I already had recorded and then continue on recording from the point that I was at without warning me. So I would have to go back and replay multiple times the same thing. And that was getting kind of old. It happened like 3 times and I was not about to keep doing that. But I ended up changing my recording software. I got the Elgato HD 60S. It works with the Switch, which is another major change about this. I am no longer playing on the PC, I'm playing on the Switch. I just find it easier to use, especially when doing the drawing portion of it, but I also play on my Switch. I love my Switch to death. I love Nintendo products, it's great. But one major thing that I kind of want to point out real quick that I've noticed, that I found out kind of recently, like, I only found this out probably in the last playthrough. You saw how the guy was going in slow motion in one of his death sequences. While he's going in that slow motion, you can actually power slash him and get a demon fang out of it, which is that blue thing that just came out. That demon fang is important because down the line, there's going to be a merchant that exclusively works in demon fangs, and they sell some very special, specific items. One in particular that I'm going to be getting is the cat. It's a statue. But what it does is it pulls all the money and items that you get towards you. So, like, I could stand here and the demon fang would come to me, or where I am, the money would come to me, so I wouldn't have to worry about possibly missing anything. With that, and then the ink pot refill, which I think is called a golden ink pot, I can't quite remember. But those are important to use, or to get, because they make your gameplay so much smoother and easier. There are so many points within the game where you end up running out of ink, and that ink pot, what it'll do is it'll refill your ink much faster. Like, it's ridiculous how much faster it'll do it. But the Lucky Cat makes it easy, so that way you can collect money and food a lot easier, so that way your astral pouch will also fill up faster. But I'm sure you've noticed, I'm back in Shinshu Field, and I obviously haven't done everything, especially considering I'm in a different system. I don't have my previous save file, so I don't really know exactly where I was. But I went through, I got Bloom, I cleared the Shinshu Field of the curse, and now I'm just kind of going through and clearing it. Most of it is just a matter of going through and clearing the Devil's Gate and triggering certain spots on the map. There are also just a few things that I'm probably going to touch upon that I didn't touch upon before because I didn't know. Like the slashing them to get demon fangs. But one thing I am going to do, because I was thinking about it, and there's not really much point to this. When it comes to the dojo, because I know I had gone through and I showed you guys the dojo before, but I'm going to go back to the dojo, and I'm actually going to learn something about thunders, which is the divine instrument that I use, the weapon I use. But I'm not going to really read the sensei's stuff, because he says the same thing every single time you talk to him. He just goes through and he's like, oh, it's too dangerous unless you can pay, and then once you pay, he turns his head upside down like he did in the last video. And he just says the same thing over and over, like I'm doing right now. But I just figured I'd let you guys know, because I am going to be playing it, and I am going to be skipping the text. another thing that I'm probably going to be doing, mostly just because I have some people that I've been talking about when I've been doing these YouTube videos again, that have actually been wanting to kind of collab with me a little bit. Like, not other YouTubers, just some friends of mine that really just kind of want to be in one of the videos and talk about these things and talk about games and stuff like that. And especially now that I got my Switch, I have other games that I'm probably going to start getting into as well. But I'm also skipping over Izun's text right now because we've already been to the dojo and we've already read that. So, but with that being said, there's probably going to be a couple people that I'm going to, at some point, have on my little stream or videos. I suppose another thing that I'm also going to be doing is I'm gonna try to make longer videos. I noticed that the new recording software that I have is really nice because I got this little counter at the bottom that I can see, that you guys can't see. That tells me how long I've been recording, and now that I'm fairly confident that it's not gonna delete my video and start recording something that I don't want, I'm gonna try to make 45-minute, maybe an hour-long videos, because this game is painfully slow when you have to go through and you actually are reading everything and watching all the cutscenes and everything like that. Because we're still at the very beginning. Like, I made 6 parts out of the last time I was making this, and all I did was get to the point of where I got Bloom. And to me, that's crazy. But I figured I'd let you guys know, just in case you're wondering why all of a sudden they're longer videos. But what I'm going to be getting here is the reflector technique, 4 winds. Long story short, what it is my move cap, you hit 3 times, and then the move just kind of delays a little bit. So now it's going to be to the point where you can hit 4 times, and then delays a little bit. So that makes it a little bit easier. The only thing that does change as far as one major difference with fighting with the 3 versus the 4 is that the 4 will not make the big guys that have the drums that burrow underground fly back and go into the gray state. They won't do that. They did do that with 3, and I'm not entirely sure why. I think it's because you hit it with the final one, but you can't seem to hit it with the 4th final one. I'm not entirely sure, but it doesn't do it. So I won't be able to beat those guys as quickly, probably. But it does make this a bit nicer because it does make it stronger and you can hit more times, which take, of course, more damage. Another thing that I am going to be doing, I'm sure I mentioned in the last playthrough that there are other divine instruments like rosary beads. And beforehand, I really liked the rosary beads. I thought they were very easy to use, and they are. They're very easy to use because they have such a long reach. But they're significantly weaker than the reflector, or I don't know, I can't remember exactly what the sword is called, but the sword weapon, they're significantly weaker than those. And I don't like the sword weapon because it's too slow, and I just can't seem to hit anything when I'm using the sword weapon. So I'm going to stick with the reflectors for this playthrough. I usually go with rosary beads, but I played through with the reflectors last time, and I think I decided I like these more. But of course you're going to get upgraded weapons and stuff like that, so there's going to be a few more things that we'll get with these. Oh boy. Alright. Completed all that, and the nice thing about this too is whenever you go and learn a new move or learn something, usually, and there's a couple of them that they don't do this with, like I'm pretty sure I think it's called Golden Fury, that they don't give you a bone in, but they will most of the time give you a bone, which is nice for later in the gameplay, so that because it restores your energy or health, but it makes it nice for harder bosses. But, speaking of Golden Fury, and I think I mentioned this in my last video, but I can't quite remember. Golden Fury, in the long and short of it, you're peeing on your enemy. And what it does is it actually gives you a Demon Fang, and that's a guarantee. That no matter what enemy it is, unless it's a boss, it will not do it on boss. But on any other enemy, it will give you a Demon Fang from. And it'd be an extra one. Like, you could get a Demon Fang from, like, you could go and use the Golden Fury on one enemy, and then you could go through and kill them, and while they're in their death animation, then you use your Power Slash on them, and that'll give you another Demon Fang. Which is actually pretty nice, because it makes it pretty easy to collect Demon Fangs. But Golden Fury is also expensive to learn. I can't quite remember the exact amount, but it's way more than I have right now, and way more than I'm gonna be getting. Another thing that I find kind of funny is you have to be over here, because, like, here I'm gonna pull them out. All the circled areas are where I need to, like, kind of clear or check right now in order to move past Shinshu Field and continue on with the story. Well, this area, the only way to clear this area is to read this sign. You'd think if it was something like that, that they would just do it for you, like they would start a cutscene or like have Izun talk to you or something, but no, you gotta do it yourself. But oh well. Agata Forest Port. The ferry between Shinshu Field and Agata Forest docks here. The ferry used to run frequently, but it's been out of service ever since the water level dropped. It's kind of a hint for later on. You can't do anything right now, but you will be able to later. One thing that I am going to be showing you guys is when I jump down here, some trees, and make room, because I can. Give me a little bit of praise. But one thing that I want to point out, see that little yellow thing right there? Grab this for real quick. Anyway, you see that yellow thing right there? That is actually a chest, but you have to dig it up. Now, you can see that where chests are a lot easier at night, because there's actually like a light that shines out of the ground, a white light that shines out of the ground that shows you what's there. But if you see one of those little things sticking out, that's definitely a chest, and you can go through and dig at that spot and unravel it. I think I mentioned this before, but I'm just gonna say it again. I will not be going through and collecting all of the stray beads. I'm not about that life. And it's really, like, I think I was talking about it before. There's Devil's Gate Trials, which is Devil's Gate is the thing that I passed through towards the dojo where I had to fight a bunch of enemies. The Devil's Gate Trials are terrible, but they're not as bad as I remember. And the main reason for that is because you can pretty easily beat them as long as you go in there with plenty of health items and a lot of Inkfinity, I think it's called, stones. The things that make your ink pots infinite for a short amount of time. As long as you have those, they're really not as bad. The worst part is when you have to race against someone. Like, there's a total of 3 of them that you can do. Technically, only 2 of them are mandatory. But they're so terrible because you have to repeat the whole dang thing, and you try so dang hard during those races in order to just fail and have to do it again. And that's so incredibly frustrating, and I'm not about to do that. But the beads are pretty fun to go through and collect for one of a major trial, or like if you want to test yourself or you want to have a bit of a challenge. It's a pretty good trial to go through and try to collect all of them. It's impossible to collect all of them in one playthrough, only because the final bead is collected after defeating the final boss. So it's something that can only really be used in a New Game Plus. But they're pretty nice for anyone that wants to go through and have an extremely casual playthrough, because it makes the gameplay insanely easy. Like, you literally have no health bar because you can't lose health. Like, at all. You can't. And then you don't have any ink pots because you can't lose any ink pots. And it also makes your weapons painfully strong. So it just makes the gameplay a lot easier, but personally I like to go through and I like to play a new game. But now we're talking to this guy, Mika. Oh dear me, this is awful. I forgot how to read. Priest of the Moonshrine, Mika. Ah, most welcome guest and has wandered into her shrine. Your timing is immaculate, Wolf. I need to speak with you. Why would you need to talk to a wolf? Like, I guess I talk to my animals, but like, I don't tell them to do stuff for me. Outside is Lake Harami. Oh, I forgot to visit that. Darn. Okay, I'll go there after this. And another thing I think I kind of noticed is I don't think it's pronounced Nippon. I think it's actually supposed, like, it would be in the English language because there's no vowel one letter after the I, so it wouldn't be a heavy I. But I think how it's supposed to be pronounced, at least for how it's supposed to be pronounced in other languages, I think it's supposed to be pronounced Nippon. I might be wrong on that, but I'm gonna call it Nippon from now on because I kind of like how that sounds more. Nippon's the largest lake. In the middle of there was an old shrine called Moon Cave, but it's completely disappeared, vanished into thin air. It enshrines that wicked demon that Nagi and Shiranui, sorry, once defeated. It housed, God, I can never call this name right. Tsukuyomi, yeah. The fated sword that keeps the demon at bay. The demon is nameless. No, I'll be cursed if I say it. It's like, Voldemort. Don't say it. Anyway, the point is, what on earth has happened to the shrine? It's guarded day and night by the Tao Master Tao Master Waka. On the one occasion that he has to go back to the city, this happens. Oh dear. So, Waka. We're gonna meet him soon, kind of soon, and he's gonna be interesting. He's kind of one of my favorite characters. But I do actually have a little bit of interesting trivia that I'm going to tell you after I finish talking to this guy while I'm running around Shinshu Field. Lately, there's been monsters hunting these parts as well. Those mischief-making monsters are the worst. I expect this is their doing. Well, maybe not this time, but they still have to be dealt with. I've already prepared a wanted list for him. Nice. The gods will have marked all of those wanted monsters with a sign. You'll know as soon as you lay eyes on them. However, they're very cautious. They only come out at night. Will you go up against this list somewhere obvious? Will you go put up this list? I can't read. Will you go put this list up somewhere obvious? I'm sure some brave soul will step up to the challenge. I obtained Mika's monster notebook. May the gods protect you always. Hey, this is a sweet job for us, Amy. Let's keep this list handy and take care of all the above mischief-making monsters ourselves. I mean, we're gonna run into them whether we like it or not. So we might as well collect a reward, too. Anyway, seems they only come out at night. Let's give it a shot. And the nice part about this is that it triggers night immediately. And you need it to be night to clear one of the places. Like, it has to be night to clear Tama, which I'll point it out on the map after this battle. But this is Oroni Maru. Boy, this monster got an exorcism arrow stuck in it. Oh, shoot. I mean, someone really wanted to get rid of this monster. Come on, Ami. Finish it off. Don't let it get away. I'm actually gonna beat him last, only because I want to collect the demon things from these guys, and these guys die immediately if you defeat the guy with the just I won't be able to collect the demon things. And I need those. At 43, that's a lot. There you go. At first I thought that you couldn't do it, the demon fang thing with these guys, because it wasn't working at first, but I think that was just me making a bad line. But I finally got it to the point where I've gotten a lot better at making those lines. But anyway, that was an Oimaru. It was one of those monsters from the Monster Book notebook. And we just happened to find it. Well, you never know what you'll find next. You know that monster notebook you have? Well, let's cross out cross out that wanted monster you've taken care of. Which is the first one. It's not usually that, it actually is randomly generated for which one you find first. I can't remember if I actually went through that or not in my last playthrough. I'm sorry, I keep saying stuff like that. But I just worry about going through and showing stuff or talking about stuff that I've already done. So I do apologize for that, but as soon as I clear Shinji Field, I guarantee you that we have not seen anything yet. That's one less monster. At this rate, won't be long before you cross them all out. Once you've defeated the wanted monsters, go see the priest, and then maybe he'll give you a reward. One thing that does happen is, because you find those monsters through the demon scrolls that just kind of randomly wander around. And there are more demon scrolls that come out during the night than there are during the day. But they don't respawn while you're still in the world. You actually have to leave that area. Like if I defeated all the monsters and then I went to Kamiki Village and then I came back, all the demon scrolls then would respawn, but they don't respawn until you leave that area. Huh? We passed under the shrine gate and followed the narrow path. So where the heck is Moon Cave? It should be right here. Well, the priest just told us that I vanished into thin air. Hey, what's up with that big old mountain over there? Since when did that appear in the middle of Lake Harami? They said that Moon Cave is where Nagi slew the legendary beast. But the huge mountain is way too big for the Moon Cave, I remember. I mean, just look at it, it's massive. Didn't they say in the legend that Orochi's body was like the size of a mountain? So I'm assuming that's his whole body. One thing that happens is I play this game a lot casually, and it annoys the heck out of my boyfriend that I can bark. And I'm only running into these demon scrolls to see if I can find any more of those demons. Only because I kind of want to get. I can't really remember what the original is, but I want to get it because I can. It's just so nice when I get that lucky cat. Like when you go through and you play with lucky cat and then the ink. Oh shoot. Okay, so I guess that brings up another good point. If you accidentally hit the villain a second time while he's in his death animation, and he goes into a secondary death animation, you've lost the ability to get the demon fang, unfortunately. But as I was saying, when you play through and you have and you've gone through and you've played with like the cat or any of the other demon thing collectibles, it's so hard to go back through and forget or remember that you don't have them, because it's so easy to forget that you aren't playing a new game plus, you're just playing a brand new game. Because unfortunately, even if you don't collect the stray beads, even if you don't go through and collect the stray beads, and you still and you still go through and play the game as a new game plus, it still makes it kind of easy because you still have all of your upgrades. Like everything that you upgrade in this menu sticks with you. Like it pulls through to the next game. And another thing I kind of want to bring up, I don't know if I spent my praise of the same way that I did in the last game. I might have, I might not have, but this is how I'm going to do it. I have 4 ink pots, and now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 solar energy. But the little trivia that I was kind of talking about before, because in another game, I just kind of wanted to name a character Amateratsu. I looked up how to spell it, so I spelled it correctly, and I found something kind of interesting. The game actually kind of makes an homage to the actual legend of Amateratsu. And I say that because Susanoo and sword, I'll never say it right, Tsukiyomi, I think it's called. That sword that Nago used, both of those names are actually used in the legend. Like, Susanoo is the name of Amateratsu's brother, and Tsukiyomi is also the name of her other brother. I'm pretty sure Susanoo is of the god of the moon, I think. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Tsukiyomi is the god of the moon. Susanoo was the god of the sea, or it was either the sea or storms. But that also being said, I kind of found that kind of interesting. Like, they actually kept the names. Well, names. Kind of similar. They were spelled a little bit different, but also, to be fair, I was reading a wiki article. But I kind of found it interesting myself that they actually did keep a couple of the names that are actually from Amateratsu's legend. If you want to take a look at it, I'll probably put a link of it in the description. But I thought it was kind of interesting. Susanoo, I'm not going to say everything because it was a pretty long article that I had to read. Well, I didn't have to read, but I wanted to. But Susanoo really upset Amateratsu, and Tsukiyomi, both of them are just got, like, their butts handed to them by their figurative parents, I guess? Kind of their parents. Oh my gosh, I keep forgetting I have to read! I'm so used to going through and playing through casually so I don't have to read. I'm sorry, this guy is Tama. He was freaking out a little bit because his recipe for fireworks are not working. This guy is actually going to give us the next brush technique. Listen up, you two. I'm just about to set off a humdinger of a doozy. Take a look at the formula. I posted on the wall there. Yes. My whole career as a pyrotechnist has led to that formula, friends. And for a little firework, I've dubbed it Midnight Wonder Boy. Wow. Okay. There's only one problem. Even though I know the formula is sound, I know it's not working yet. I know. Listen up, bud. You've got good eyes. Fire eyes. Smoldering eyes. Maybe red hot glare is just enough that I need to set this off. Feast your eyes on the great display the world has never seen. Hold on to your hats, kids. Here I go. I don't have a hat. Well, I mean, Izard has a hat. A bright constellation in the sky. The Midnight Wonder Boy. Why? That formula over there, you're supposed to draw something that looks like a cherry bomb. But I have found that you can just make a circle with a line in it. And that works. So that makes it a lot easier to draw because, I don't know if anyone else has this problem, but I myself am terrible at drawing circles with a line sticking out of it. I don't know why, but I am. So that being said, it makes it a lot easier after I figured out that I can just do a circle and just put a line through it or touch a line to it. It makes it a lot easier. The Tama may have a few screws loose, boy, but boy, he can deliver. Huh? That light again. It's a constellation. Oh, it's another constellation, Ami. Ta-da! I like the animation on this one. This one's one of my favorites, and then so is the horse. Amateratsu. Origin of all that is good and withered to us all. Too often. Too often. It is easy to forget that which we cannot see. Hidden away, I had lost track of you, but now my soul is at ease. I, Bakugan, god of explosive force, lend my power to your cause. Use the cherry bomb to lay waste to foes and obstacles alike. Your kids are trying to kill you, apparently. And they succeeded. Is that like real life? Hey! Did another brush technique just come back to you? That was Bakugami, the god of explosions. His technique is called Cherry Bomb. Thomas' enthusiasm must have awakened the god power in you. Well, what are you waiting for? Let's give that Cherry Bomb a try. What about that cracked wall over there? Why don't you try a Cherry Bomb? Cherry Bomb on it. But be careful. Gulp. Gulp, 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 gulp. Ta-da! So much easier when you know how to do that. One thing I was thinking of, I first played this game on the Wii, because it was released originally on the Wii and then the PlayStation 3. Whoa, look at that hole. It blasted that crack in the wall to smithereens. That Cherry Bomb is one destructive technique. I mean, just think what it could do to monsters. It's gonna be tricky handling something that powerful, but I bet you could use it all the time once you master it. But I played this game first on the Wii, and I was just thinking about it, and I'm like, with how terrible the Wii's motion controls were, like, really, this was the only game I played on it because the motion controls were just such trash. I don't understand how I managed to play this game, though. Like, it's so bad that I don't know how I managed to make a straight line ever. It was hard to do, but how did I do it? Well, Ami, I think we've seen just about everything there is in Shinshu Field. Maybe it's time we checked on Sakuya back in Kamiki Village. Now that we've revived 2 of her saplings, we'll do a bit better. Rat statue. As far as I could tell, the statues themselves don't really do anything other than they give you something to sell, pretty much. No! Fighting 2 of those fish guys. Oh, no. Don't do it. Get out of this guy. The worst thing about these guys is that they cling on to you, like how this guy's doing right now. And they don't let go. These guys are actually kind of hard to get the demon fangs out of. It does work with demon fangs, but you have to, like, not use the power slash on it to get it off. But until you get a better weapon, you don't really have much of a choice. You have to use the power slash to get it off of you, or else it's going to explode on you. And you're either going to lose some godhood, or you're going to lose some health. And I do apologize if at any point in time any of the pop-ups for any of my friends being online bothers you guys. Yes! Those guys are really hard to fight when they're underground. They're a lot easier to fight. They're a lot easier to fight if you can keep them above ground, which is why when you had the 3 reflector technique before you upgraded to the 4, makes it kind of nice, because they would fly back and go to the gray state like we just did. But the 4 technique at least gives you a bit of a stronger power, and that's kind of nice. There is actually a, it's not a technique, it's kind of more of just an unlockable. Later on in the game, you can go to one of the, what are they called? Dojos. You can go to one of the dojos and get something that makes it to where if you put a reflector as your main and your sub, which if you go to your equipment, and if you have more of them, you can select it as your sub. Like if you look over on the right-hand side, you can see a main and sub. Reflectors can do kind of what their name implies. If they're equipped as a sub, they can reflect the attack. Oh darn, it's just a stray bee. But they can reflect the attack of an enemy if you press, I think it's the X button. I don't use it very much, but it does come in handy if you learn how to use it. But it does make it a lot nicer when you get to that point in the game. Because even though it's not very much that increases your strength, it does still increase it. And it makes it kind of nice to make it a bit easier to fight some of the enemies. I know I was just kind of criticizing Stray Beats for making the game too easy, but the game can be kind of challenging at points. It's not the hardest game. It's really not. But it's a very entertaining game because it's not super easy to go through. At least when you have a new playthrough, of course. And I think that's also kind of in hand with the fact that you don't have a ton of health. Do your best thing. But you don't have a ton of health towards the thing. Like, I'm probably not going to get a lot of health. In fact, if anything, I'm probably going to spend more of my praise on ink pots, just because it gets so annoying if you run out of ink. It's insane. Because you have to wait for 3 of the ink pots to completely refill. It's not just waiting a second and then you get your god powers back. Like, you lose your divine instrument. How about what's going on? Ida of the Dangan Express never trips up. I've fallen and I can't get up. Maybe it's a curse. It's like the life alert videos. I've fallen and I can't get up. I remember seeing those as a kid. Anyway, I don't have any time for falling over. People were waiting for mail. Those monsters must have set some kind of trap for me as a joke. Darn it, I knew I should have brought a traveler's charm. Hey, Pooch, is that traveler's charm you got there, is it? You offered the traveler's charm. Oh, yes. I feel light. My body feels like feels as light as a feather. Thanks, Pooch, you saved it. Can't hang about. Gotta catch up on my deliveries. This is one of the guys that you will race against. He's the optional one. Because the main reason for it is you race him to get a gear that you can give a guy who built a machine later on in the game. And it's pretty... I guess it's kind of late in the game that you get to do that. But you have to race against him like 3 times. And of course he gets faster every time that you race against him. But not only that, but he drops, I want to call them chestnuts, but they're just spiky balls that if you touch, it hurts you, well, it kind of hurts you, but makes you fall back and interrupts your running pattern. And it's so annoying if you lose. But he is the optional one, because the reason for it is to actually get a rush technique, because there is a lightning god later on in the game, and you can unlock one of his upgrades by giving that gear to the god, and it gives you his most powerful one that consumes the most amount of thing as well. But you need it in order to open up the box, but you don't necessarily need to do him, because later on in the game you get a weapon that also produces electricity that you can actually just use that instead. And I might at least go up to the room to kind of show you what I'm talking about. But it'll all kind of make sense later. But I think that's the final double gate that I can reach right now. There's like 2 or 3 up on that hill up there that we can reach later. Oh, so pretty. And so much grace. I like grace. It's cold in this room. Oh, I need 100. Okay. One thing I actually like is when you beat the game, you get other I'm gonna call them skins for Amateratsu. You can be other types of dogs, like a boxer or a chow chow or anything like that. Like there's a couple of them. There obviously don't have every, but I still find it really funny because it also changes your bark. You get barks pretty fitting for those other dogs. But my favorite is like the chow chow because you're about the size of Amateratsu. You just are significantly fluffier, but you bark like a chihuahua, and it's fantastic. Wow, the village looks so nice. Wow, what's all this? The village is just bursting with activity. Wonder what's going on. Everyone's happy that it's not, like, deadly outside anymore. One thing you do have to do, because they just require it, is you have to make all of those trees blossom. And it's not too hard to do once you actually know where all of them are. The most hidden one, though, that you wouldn't really see unless you were really looking around for it, is this one over here. There's one all the way back behind this house that you don't really initially see unless you're looking for it, like I mentioned before. I really get a lot, don't I? Oh, come on, I don't want to lose. Thank you. Yeah, I'll go ahead and show you guys. So this is what happens if you run out of ink. You lose it all. You can't use the ink. You can't really do much, if anything, but run around. You lose your godhood and your divine instrument. And that happens in battle, too. Now, you could still fight if you're in battle. It's just not nearly as strong as if you had your divine instrument. It's like probably 5, maybe 6. Most of them are kind of in the same area. Oh, shoot. Oopsie dipsies. I saw when I was already in the midst of drawing the circle and I didn't. Oh, well. Oh, yeah, there's also... Yeah, there's one right here. There we go. Nice, I got the replacement Traveler's Charm for when I gave Ida. Ida? Yeah. And these ones. The nice thing that will actually happen is you'll get a confirmation noise after you do complete all of these, so you know when you've actually gotten them all. Alright, whoops. There you go. And this should be the last one. There's the confirmation noise. Alright, and after all that, you come up here and you talk to Mr. Orange. That's the answer to all my prayers. All the village's trees have sprung back to life. And it is time to harness the earth and dwells within the good earth. Yes, it is time for the Konohana shuffle. I shall summon back the spirit of the divine tree, Konohana. Drunk. But first, I must break my vow of temperance. And shall gingerly sip on the sake. And soon, we shall see blossoms. Okay. Oh, yes, yes, yes! I just love how his orange, like, grew 10 times in size. Hey, Gramps, you okay? You got a real weird look in your eyes. Amateratsu's a little freaked out by it, too. Snowball, Izune. What you're about to see is the stuff of legends. Behold, the secret of secrets. I give you the Konohana shuffle. His orange is back to normal size. He must have learned Bloom too. My turn. Yeah. Okay, I thought I messed up on that. One more. Oh. Now there should be one. Just breaking it down. I can remember back on the Wii, that part was so hard. It was so hard because making a circle with the Wiimote was terrible. And in case it wasn't clear, you have to do all your brush strokes using the Wiimote's motion controls. It was terrible. It was absolutely awful, even with the Motion Plus. Oh boy, it's like yeah. Great Amateratsu. Sasaki? You're alive? And you, look very nice. Little bug friend. I see you are full spunk as always. I owe this elderly gentleman my deepest thanks. What bravery. Doing the shuffle while drinking. Mere words cannot express the depth of my gratitude. Oh. Thanks to you, I've restored and re-energized. Woo! Gulp. Of course, the one that deserves my thanks and respect the most is none other than the glorious god Amateratsu. Praise be to you. Giggle, giggle. I love how they tried, only for a little bit, to kind of make her seem kind of pure. She ain't that pure. We all know this. I cannot guarantee that it will say it means salvation for all of Nippon. But if you restore the guardian saplings spread about the land, you too will benefit from the power that results. I will remain in Kamiki, praying for your mission's success. I will look forward to gazing upon you again. May the fresh scent of flowers always protect you. I still read that. Wow. Oh man, what now? I like how there's petals all the way up there. Oh. Oh. Poor guy. Amateratsu, origin of all that is good, and mother to us all. Long have I hidden myself here among the nature of Kamiki. But the time has come for I, Hasugami, proud member of the Hanagami trio for the Flora gods. to reveal his goal. May my power be of assistance on your grave quest. And this helps us get to Gato Forest. Holy smokes! That was Hasugami! With the water lily power, you can create lily pads on water. You can use them to cross any body of water. Let's try it out. Come on, this way. The text just goes up so slow. There are certain parts where you can't make the text come to the screen faster. Like I did just there, I just made it come up faster. But there are certain parts where they don't let you do that, and I'm like, but why? I've been eyeing that treasure chest out there for some time. Why don't you create some lily pads over there? Make them like stepping stones all the way to the islet. The water lily brush technique creates lily pads on water. All you gotta do is draw circles on the water. Come on, Furball. Let me see you work. Wonders with that brush of yours. English, how does it work? There we go. Yes, that's it. And we got a lily pad. Giant. Wipe that smirk off your face, Furball. At least we don't have to worry about getting wet anymore. I can't skip it. I know, now you have this new power. Let's use it to travel a bit further out of the village. So slow. Remember the waterway leading to the forest that I told you about? Yes, I do. Yes, I was just talking about it. Our little Sakiya is back to her old peppy self, but there are still lots of guardian saplings that haven't blossomed. Look at that tree. So pretty. Alright. Yeah. Oh, these are nice. I think I collected one. I'm pretty sure I collected one in my last route. But just in case I didn't actually explain it, those give you extra solar energy if you collect 3 of them. It's like heart pieces in Zelda, you just have to collect less of them. There we go. And I just want this. There is a buried treasure here, but that one is definitely a stray bead. I don't need this. One thing I really miss, because later on in the game you get the chance to get a double jump. I miss the double jump whenever I go back and play through these games, because I always try to think that I have it. I always try to double jump by accident. Oh, shoot, I didn't do her. Damn. So, Mrs. Orange over here is washing clothes, but she's a little bit of a kerfuffle because her drying pole is gone. Well, my friends, I made her one. Look at that. I helped her. A new drying pole? Oh my, where did that come from? The gods must have answered my prayers. How wonderful. Time to dry the laundry. Alright, and now she's a little bit sad because the sun is so far away and her clothes dry slower. So, we're gonna draw the sun and make it melt everything. My word. The sun is suddenly drawn so close. That's not a good thing. My laundry will be bone dry in no time. First my pull and now this. When will the miracles never cease? Maybe I ought to make some cherry cakes and to offer to the sun. Come back tonight if you want some too, Snowball. No one makes better cherry cakes. They're mouth-wateringly good. Well, I will not be coming back tonight, but I will be leaving. Oh no. Oh, I don't care. That's fine. Oh shoot. There we go. Oh no! I missed a tree! much. I think I'm gonna go ahead and end that episode here. Let me go ahead and get to a safe spot, and then I will end it officially. Run, 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 run. Alright. So, I'm here. I will save. But it's been great coming back to you guys. I really missed making videos because I actually did have fun with them. Hopefully I won't have any more issues with actually recording. But I'm glad to be back, and I'm glad I can make longer videos. So it was nice seeing you guys again, and I hopefully will see you next time. Bye.